Okay, welcome everyone to the ordinary meeting of Council, 16th of December. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land and pay respect to their elders and the elders from other communities who may be with us here today. We also acknowledge all other people who have contributed to the rich diversity of this country. Council, please be upstanding for the statement of commitment. I declare
that as a councillor of an honourable city, I will undertake on every occasion to carry out my duties in the best interests of the community, and that my conduct shall maintain the standards of the Council Code of Conduct, so that I may faithfully represent and uphold the trust placed in the Council by the people of the Noonan District.
Thank you. I'll remind you that the meetings are recorded and live streamed. We expect your behaviour to be exemplary, as it always is. If anyone has a conflict of interest, it's to be noted now and also at the time in the agenda. Do we have any apologies?
Bill.
Confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting, Councillor Firth and Councillor King. All those in favour? That's carried. Question time. Do you have any questions?
Bill.
Any petitions?
Bill.
Record of committees. Finance and Operations Committee. The recommendation is on page 10 that the report and recommendations of the Finance and Operations Committee meeting held on Wednesday the 2nd of December 2020 be adopted. Move Councillor Davis, second Councillor Hearn. Like to speak, Councillor Davis?
No, thank you.
Councillor Hearn?
No, thank you.
All those in favour? That's carried. 8.2, Planning and Development Committee. Recommendation is on page 32 that the report and recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee meeting held on Wednesday the 9th of December 2020 be adopted. Move Councillor Hearn, second Councillor King. Like to speak, Councillor Hearn?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councillor King?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else like to speak? All those in favour? That's carried. 8.3, Assembly of Councillors, Advisory and External Committees. The recommendation is that the report be noted on page 33. There's no amendments. Does anyone want to move that? Councillor Firth and Councillor Davis. Like to speak, Councillor Firth?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Davis?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
All those in favour? That's carried. Report by officers. Do you have any report? Authorisation signing of documents. 9.2, Emergency Management Committee. Who's speaking on that, Rob? Mr. Barber.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just on behalf of Nilesh Singh and David Lawrence, who are our emergency management gurus. As can be seen from the report, from 1 December, there's been some fairly significant changes in the Emergency Management Act. Basically, as the report details, the responsibility has been taken out of the council's jurisdiction and put very much under the Act itself and the state government. As can be seen from the report, that we had to nominate a chair of the committee, and the CEO has nominated Mr. David Lawrence, who is our new emergency management coordinator. The proposal is that the new committee meets very soon, coming up, as soon as practical after the 1st of December. The initial membership of the committee is detailed on page 36, which includes ourselves, Victoria Police, the CFA, Fire Rescue Victoria, Ambulance Victoria, the SES, Australian Red Cross and Department of Human Services, which will form the executive of the committee. The executive then will reach out to other community members, or as community members, recovery representative, and some representatives from key industry groups such as Talus and other perhaps dangerous or potentially emergency type operations. There is a draft terms of reference which is attached to Appendix 1. These aren't developed by Council itself. These are fairly prescriptive from the state government on what the committee has and hasn't done. Previously, the council did formed this committee and actually chaired it, but that's no longer the role of councillors. There's a fairly comprehensive recommendation on page 38, Mr Chair, but happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions of Mr. Barber? If there's not, the recommendation is in 3 parts on page 38. Would someone like to move that? Councillor Davis and Councillor O'Brien. Would you like to speak, Councillor Davis?
Oh, look, just briefly, having been on that committee, when you read the terms of reference and the way it's been restructured, the council should never in the first place ever been in charge of that committee anyway. It also puts a lot more ownership back on the particular committee, which is made up of the particular agencies. So I'm going to be interested, and they'll report to the government. So it's going to be interesting how that committee all goes together. I think it's fantastic that it's happened. It hasn't taken any burden off the council, because the council is there, in my book, to be what they do well, organise their own patch. But when it comes to emergency services, that's where all these organisations come in. So it's got my full support, and I think when you read through it, you can see that it's going to be all the way forward. Taking the pressure off our CEO, who's still going to be responsible for parts of an operation when it's there. We're not going to walk away from it, but it's certainly a way forward, and I commend whoever had the foresight to put it together. It's very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. Councillor O'Brien, would you like to speak?
No, thank you, Mr Chair.
Would anyone else like to speak? All those in favour? Carried. 9.3, appointment of council representatives to advisory committees, industry bodies and regional community-based committees. And I think there is one amendment to that. The Riverine.
Parklands Committee, that's right, Mr Chair, if council had a chance to, or tonight can nominate someone to that committee, because it was overlooked in the list that's in the contained in the report tonight.
Someone like to move, Councillor?
Could I move that Councillor King take on the portfolio, please?
Certainly. Seconder for that, or Councillor King, would you?
So just on that, Mr Chair, you want to add that as the second recommendation to, second motion to the existing recommendation?
Yes, please.
Certainly, I'll endorse that.
I accept that
Thank you.
appointment.
Just through the chair, thank you. There is a rather lengthy list of committees, both internal and external, advisory groups and sunset committees that many elected members represent the council on. I believe the list that has been presented this evening has been discussed widely by the elected members, and obviously with the one addition, I'd like to put forward the recommendation that is actually on page 42, with the recommendation that Councillor King become the representative on the Riverine Parklands. Riverina, that's where I'm from, Riverine.
Any questions, Mr. Testani?
I'd just like the Benalla Showgrounds and Reserve Committee Management. You can't have 2 people on that committee. It says Councillor Davis and myself. So it needs to at the moment I am the person on that committee, but I'm happy. I believe Justin, Councillor King would like to take that one on, so I'm happy to step down for him to take it on. It just has to be reported to DELP first.
Can I just clarify that it is a government appointee position, if Councillor King feels?
Yep.
Just to clarify that it is a government.
Yeah, we'll amend that to removing the 2 names we have there and replacing it with Councillor King.
Thank you.
So that will be added to the recommendation as well. With that amendment, would someone like to move the recommendation? Councillor Hearn, Councillor Firth. Would like to speak, Councillor Hearn?
I'd just like to say that it's been, it's really good to see when we tabled this and discussed it, that everyone put their hand up for all the different groups and meetings, and everyone was happy to be part, even sometimes more than was needed. So I'd just like to say that it's good that we're all interested in every aspect of our town.
Thank you, councillor Hearn. Councillor Firth, would you like to speak?
Yeah, through the chair. I agree, councillor Hearn's right. It's been good. It's a new council, and having that new council, we never know how we're going to work together. But these committees give us all the chance sometimes work together, but the main thing is we spread the load, and the load's been spread very well. So it's a good start to the whole council. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Firth. Anyone else like to speak? If not, all those in favour? Carried. 9.4, council actions pending. Mr. Chestani, would you like to speak about Irwin Road?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Enjoying some dialogue there, and I'm happy to provide a further update to councillors in confidence, actually, but still discussing the particular issue. As I've said before, we've got 4 years to go.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Chestani?
I just don't want you to forget that Barb's still with us, and I will keep pestering you for it.
Thank you, councillor.
Thank you. The recommendation is on page 43 that the report be noted. Moved councillor Davis, seconded councillor King. Would you like to speak, councillor Davis?
No, thank you.
Councillor King. Anyone else like to speak? All those in favour? That is carried. Item number 10, Mayor and Councillors' attendance at committees and civic functions. Now, before we start, there is one item that's not on here, which was our planning and development meeting. So everyone attended that, but that's not in there. So everyone will be included in the, I think it's December the 9th P&D meeting. So if anyone has any amendments to this, could they please? No,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just an amendment, on the 30th of November, Councillor O'Brien and I attended the Inland Rail Benalla Working Group. I just note that hasn't been
Thank you.
noted on that.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chair, I have watched the electronic videos of the Municipal Association Victoria trainings, even though I haven't attended the sessions online at the time, so I would like to mention that.
Thank you. Councillor O'Brien, do you have anything else to add? Historic Society meeting?
Yes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, just on the 9th of the 12th, both Councillor Goodratner and myself attended a tour with you. Councillor Danny Claridge to the Historical Society, just really for an orientation to what they're doing over there, which was very interesting. So, thank you.
Huge, we had that amendment, and also Councillor Panaji was at that meeting as well. Councillor Hearn?
We also had Cott on the night.
Thank you. That makes it look a lot busier, doesn't it? Thank you. With those amendments, would someone like to recommend the report be noted? Councillor Hearn, Councillor Panaji.
That's far too many amendments.
Would you like to speak, Councillor Hearn?
No, thank you, Mr.
Councillor Gatnari?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else like to speak? All those in favour? That's carried. Reports by councillors. Do we have any reports? Councillor King?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to provide an update to Council in regards to Councillor O'Brien will probably also be able to share some information on this in regards to the Inland Rail Benalla Working Group, which we attended the second meeting, I think, for this committee's progress. I just wanted to, I guess, shed some light on the second meeting and that its purpose around the development of what the committee is looking to get out of this whole project and out of this whole program over the next 7-8 months. Just, I guess, to say that going into that meeting on that night, it was very productive and also very community focused on a whole community approach in this project. I'm actually quite excited to see what the final outcome will be through this process. I'm very confident that the chair, who's working in conjunction with ARTC, will certainly be able to work through this. And I think to date, there's a lot of passionate people who have been appointed to the committee and will bring some great insight into this project going forward. So I was very, encouraged and pleased to see what's going to come from this.
Thank you, Councillor King. Are there any other reports? Councillor O'Brien?
Through the chair, thank you. Yes, so I went to that meeting with Councillor King and I also thought it was a really positive meeting. Everybody was given a fair opportunity to voice their concerns. Everybody listened to one another, which was terrific. And I came away from there feeling very positive too and feeling that this is going to move forward. And then just to add on today, that this afternoon, Councillor Gunaratne and myself went over to the railway station and met with Helen Haynes, Senator Helen Haynes from Indi, just as with an update with a couple of members of the Save Our Station committee. So it was just really an orientation, just really looking at the railway line and a bit of a discussion about moving forward as well. So that was a pretty positive encounter as well. I think it's really important to be having these positive links between council and community so that we can all work together to get the best outcome for our community. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Councillor O'Brien. Is there anyone else for the report? If not, I'd like to give a short report on the North East Waste and Resource Recovery Group, which met on the 10th of December. I know in the new year all of you people will have reports because you'll be going to all the committees that we've just established. So, at that meeting, a gentleman called Paul Randall from Environment Consultants spoke about problematic materials in the landfills in this area, and when we say landfills, we've only really got two main landfills in our area, which is Benalla and Wangaratta. And they've identified soft plastic, silage wrap and paint as the most problematic issues. We may have an answer for that in the near future. We've been discussing a way of dealing with soft plastic, so there may be an answer to that. But at the moment, there is a company in Albury called Plastic Forest who will take the silage wrap and the soft plastics if you can get it to them. 1 tonne of silage wrap, with 1 tonne of silage wrap, they make 100 plastic steel reinforced posts. So it can be used, and and for us, it's something our procurement people might look at using recycled plastic posts. They also did some modelling on a pre-sorting facility with a possibility to have a pre-sorting facility at either Wangaratta or Benalla landfill to take all this stuff out before it gets to the landfill. The modelling dealt with 4 scenarios: 1, business as usual in Wang, or business with Alpine delivering their plastics to Wangaratta, and Benalla with business as usual, or with Alpine delivering their plastics to us. And the lack of tonnage made it extremely unfeasible. If they were to set up a facility like that, you'd be looking at losing $4 to $4.7 million. So I don't think that one's on the table. The other thing was the paint, and there's been discussion with it's called Paint Back, which will take paint back. And there are sites in Wangaratta and Wodonga where you can dispose of your paint, but there's not in Benalla and there's not in any of the Alpine resorts or the smaller places. So they're looking at trying to get a rotating stillage that can come to the unfunded sites like us and be sent back to the designated site, so it would be cost neutral, but that's something for the future. The other person that spoke there was from Urban EP, and it was about a communications and education strategy, which I think I emailed to all of you if you're interested in reading it. It's a 4-year strategy, and the executive summary basically says that the strategy lays out a structure to approach the delivery and education communication actions across the region. Its focus responds to priorities raised and agreed by Council and Alpine Resorts representative and reflects the state's government expectations. So the resource group has got $50,000 to put towards this, so it will happen, the education program. And as I say, over 4 years, which is probably much longer than the life of the group, because the new Act comes into play next year, and the Waste and Resource recovery group will probably disappear as it is, but there's a, in their, in the dealings with the 50 grand, they can't, if that group disappears, that 50 grand is either spent on this project or it's returned to the councils. The council in that waste and resource group put approximately $140,000 a year towards the waste and resource group to finance it. So that would be returned to the council. Yes, councillor Hearn.
Could you please just say the name of the company that is recycling the site?
Western Forests.
Western Forest.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no other reports, if someone wants to move that the reports be noted. Councillor King, Councillor Hearn. Notices of motion, oh, sorry, Dave, you'd like to speak. Councillor Hearn, Councillor King, all those in favour? Notices of motion?
Nil.
Notices of rescission motion?
Nil.
Urgent business?
Nil.
Okay, would someone like to recommend that, or the recommendation to close the meeting to confidential business? Councillor Davis, Councillor Hearn. All those in favour?